This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We're honored to continue and share the teachings of the founder.
All right, let's go ahead and open up the doors as we are here live on Zoom, live streaming to multiple different platforms. And I love the fact that we can do one show and be all around the world at the same time. Of course, it's not the same time zone. It's different times throughout the world. But folks, if you would like to join us with Zoom live here, dailywithdoc.com is where you want to go to make sure that you get signed up for our newsletter and also get information directly to your email on how to join us here on the Daily with Doc. If you want to, and if you're listening to here, we invite you to join us here live. All you have to do is in that URL address bar, put dailywithdoczoom.com. That is dailywithdoczoom.com. Are welcome to join us. So I just want to do a heartfelt shout out as we are being broadcasted not only on these different platforms like Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Rumble. We're going Brighty on Truths, all of these different places. We are also syndicated on multiple different radio stations, and I just want to thank Mr. Michaels for joining us here each and every day as he is using this program to continue to spread the message of hope and what you yourself can do as an empowered individual, folks. We have a better, grasp of what can and can't benefit our health than somebody that's gone through 8-9 years of medical school, folks, that had maybe 1 hour, one class that touched on you. This program is going to be enlightening you on the importance of nutrition. And with that being said, the FDA does require us to let you know that this program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, nor are the products mentioned intended to treat, diagnose, or cure any diseases. But folks, when you look at the research of the man that we have on with us today, and you see the comparative analysis, taking the data from autopsies of over 30,000 cases, it just makes sense. My name is Becca Dukes, and I am honored to be the hostess of this program, bringing to you the information that gave me hope. I was told that I had multiple conditions, and then there was nothing they could do for me because I refused to go for surgery. So they pushed me off to pain management. And then I found this doctor, and he said, give me 90 days. I was going to give him those 90 days. And those 90 days were over 7 years ago, over 100 pounds ago. And no longer having to deal with the symptoms that have been characterized with 13 different conditions. So folks, if you feel like you're just too young to feel this old and you're tired of hurting, listen up, because I am excited to bring to you the one, the only Dr. Joel Wallach, who has a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, Doctorate of Veterinary Medicine. Yes, he started with the ones that couldn't even tell him what was going on, folks, and he had to figure it out. And he figured it out so well that he has saved the white rhino from extinction. So if he can save a white rhino from extinction, I think he can really help us humans out. But treating the animals was not enough. So he went on, as he was teaching nutrition at a college level for a naturopathic college, decided to become also a naturopathic physician. And in the whole process of it all, has 3 postdoctorates in pathology. So folks, you're going to want to make sure that you get back with the person that shared this program with you and tell them thank you. This is a resource for an amazing community of people. Some of them are health coaches. Some of them are certified holistic health coaches. Some are just those who have a passion to see people thrive. So get back with that person that shared this program with you. Tell them thank you and say, hey, I want more information. Can you help me out? If there's nobody to thank, you are welcome to join us and go to dailywithdoc.com, as I do have a group of people who are here for those who have spoken to anybody about longevity, have never tried the products, and are ready to make a change. So if you're one of those people, you can call our team at 855-949-3377 or go to our website, dailywithdoc.com. We do have a contact option where you can click contact and it'll send us an email. Let us know what you would like to work on. If you have goals that you would like to reach, then reach out to us and let us see what we can do to assist you in making those goals. It all has to do with you and your actions. Okay? The first action is to say, hey, I got something going on. I need some help. Admitting that you have a goal that you yourself cannot reach on your own, because we are here to help people thrive, folks, not just barely survive. So with that being said, I started this. I got to make all of those things, all those little statements, because we are an amazing community. I don't want to bypass anybody in our community. I just spent the weekend with almost 50 of them and just had an incredible time loving and hugging and learning with a group of health coaches. So folks, without further ado, it is my great honor and privilege to bring to you Dr. Joel Wallach. Hello, Dr. Wallach.
Hello.
I know you missed me.
Yes,
So
we missed you. You were gone for 4 or 5 days, and we couldn't wait till you get back.
well, it has
Day
been an
without Rebecca.
adventurous morning.
A day without Rebecca is like a day without sunshine.
Oh, you're so sweet, Dr. Wallach. Well, what do you have for us today?
Well, I think one of the things that people have to appreciate is that the human body is very complex, and it requires a minimum of 90 essential nutrients just to breathe, okay, to eat and digest food and that sort of stuff. And then this requires 90 essential nutrients, 16 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 omega 3 fatty acids. And then with all these organs, you have a heart, you have lungs, you have liver, you have digestive system, stomach and intestines, and you have pancreas and so on. And then you have muscles and bones and ligaments and tendons and connective tissue and skin and brain and spinal cords and eyes and and they all require not only the 90 essential nutrients, but for their functions, special nutrients in addition to the 90. We call them secret sauces, okay? And so it's one of those things where the old days, people unknowingly were getting not totally, because nutritional minerals do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. They occur in veins like gold and silver. But when they were getting all 90 essential nutrients, well, where did they get their 60 minerals? From wood ashes and coal ashes. When they used wood and coal for fuel for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, unknowingly, they were putting the wood ashes and coal ashes in their food as a spice. They're also putting it in their gardens. And they knew that when they put wood ashes and coal ashes into the gardens, they got a bigger yield, bigger tomatoes, more tomatoes, that kind of thing, and bigger onions, more onions. And they knew that, but they did not know that the plants were sucking up the minerals that were in those ashes. And when you ate the vegetables grown in the garden that were fertilized with the ashes, you were getting minerals. Well, at 3:00 in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, on Pearl Street in New York City, in the bluff overlooking the construction of Brooklyn Bridge, Thomas Edison pulled the switch. Within 18 years, by 1900, the turn of the 20th century, we were coming down with 50 new diseases that people never seen before. That's because we no longer had access to these minerals through the wood ashes and coal ashes, because we were using electricity. There was no more ashes that were produced. And this was a big turn. This was a big turn, going from thousands and thousands and thousands of years of getting our nutritional minerals from wood ashes and coal ashes to going to electricity. And suddenly now we didn't have these nutrients anymore. So the only way you can guarantee you're going to get them is to supplement. And we learned this in the animal industry. We don't have health insurance for animals. The veterinarian doesn't have to come out to the farm every day to treat the animals like they do people, okay? And so why is that? Well, because we learned from economics and from science, and that's I learned it in veterinary school as well as agricultural school, about soils and plants and animal diseases. These are caused by deficiencies of vitamins and minerals. And doctors, medical doctors, want to give you fast relief. They'll give you painkiller. Oh, I just love my doctor. I had this pain for years. He gave me this new pain reliever. Man, in 30 seconds, that pain was gone. I just love him. But he didn't deal with what was causing the pain. So the disease kept getting worse and worse and worse. You had to use more and more of the painkiller. And then you had to get another painkiller. And then because doctors are taught to relieve symptoms, they rarely get to the basic root cause of the problem. Okay? And so this is what we teach people. If you want to have healthy families, you want to add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life, your family's life, this is not difficult. This is not difficult. Okay, we have over 100 years, 123 years, okay, of learning how to deal with this nutritionally in animals. And actually with animals, it goes back even farther, okay? They learned there were certain things. They would give salt blocks to animals, okay? And the animals would stand there and lick that salt block all the time. And people started taking salt for themselves, okay? Well, doctors say salt is bad. No, sodium chloride are two of the nutrients you require for life. And if you stop salting your food, you're in trouble. You're going to get problems, okay? Because your cells won't be healthy. You won't be able to deal with your blood pressure. Your kidneys will be unhappy. You don't want that. Every cell in your body requires sodium chloride, which is salt. And in the old days, when you did something good, everybody said, oh, you're the salt of the earth, because they knew if you had goiter and they gave you sea salt, your goiter would go away. Now, they didn't know what it was in the sea salt that caused the goiter to go away, but they learned just from accidental observation that if you gave somebody sea salt that had a goiter, within weeks, their goiter would go away. Now, doctors want to use surgery. Okay? And so you have to say, okay, I'm going to participate here. And then when I started out, when I was first a veterinarian and then became a naturopathic doctor, I would tell my patients, they said, well, you're a veterinarian. I said, I'm going to treat you like a dog, but you're going to get better. And you'll be blessed if you allow your doctor to treat you like a dog, because you will get better. Whereas if you're going to be treated like a human being, you're in trouble. Okay? You'll be on 8, 10, 12, 15, 20 different drugs, and they're all designed to relieve symptoms, not to prevent or cure disease. So with that said, I'll turn it back to you.
Oh, Dr. Wallach, that is spot on. They are trained and fabulous when it comes to like emergency medicine. And if there's something broken or something that has to be stitched back together, or, but they don't look at the preventative of what it takes, or the underlying cause rather of why there's dysfunction within the body. So as you were going through your autopsies with the different animals and finding causes of
And
death,
people,
folks,
and people, and humans.
and people, and you were doing that comparative pathology, which tell us a little bit about what comparative pathology is.
Well, comparative pathology is when you look at the same disease in animals and people. And that's why they started laboratory animals, laboratory rats and guinea pigs and rabbits and monkeys and that sort of stuff. So they could do experiments with drugs on animals so that they knew what to give people symptoms. Okay. But the big one was I did 20,000 autopsies on a $21 million grant from the National Institutes of Health. And it was based on my first written paper. Okay. And it was published in 1965 in the Veterinary Journal of Veterinary Medicine in the United States. I did autopsies on 50 dead lambs. This farmer had 500 lambs. They were 6 months old. They're going to, after Christmas, they were going to shear them. After New Year's, they're going to take them to be slaughtered and make lamb chops. Okay. Well, about a week before Christmas, all the professors were gone. So I'm working my way through veterinary school, getting paid so I can pay the tuition in veterinary school in the pathology department. And this farmer brings me 50 dead lambs. I said, oh my gosh, what happened? He tells me, well, yesterday I had 500 healthy lambs. And this morning they were all dead. What? They were perfectly healthy yesterday. No symptoms, no disease, nothing. They were eating and running around playing like a 6-month-old lamb would. This morning they were all dead. These lambs, they all had goiter. Their blood was black, not dark red, but black. So I said, do you have other farms around you? Yeah. What animals do they have? He said, none. They all raise like hay and corn and what fertilizer do they use? He said, well, they use a lot of nitrate fertilizers. Okay. Where did your lambs get their drinking water? We have a pond. I said, I need some water. So he calls his employee. In 2 hours, they bring me 2 5-gallon buckets worth of water. And we analyzed it. Sure enough, it was just loaded with nitrate fertilizer. Well, nitrates actually cause the thyroid to enlarge and dysfunction in its process. And when the temperature dropped that night, that's what happened. The temperature went from an average of 50 for the past month, every day, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, dropped to 16. And they couldn't maintain their body temperature, and they all died of hypothermia. Okay, now that was my first scientific publication. Okay, it was published in this veterinary Journal of Veterinary Medicine. I was in Africa, as you point out, working on and doing autopsies on all the animals in the area, the different species of animals where the rhino were living, and trying to figure out why they weren't making it and so forth. We figured it all out. And back then, there was only like 350 left. Last December, we have 21,000 now. So I'm very, very proud of that. Okay. And we can do the same thing with humans because we know what causes these diseases. We know what you have to do to prevent them and how to reverse them. And so people have to make choices. Do you want your family to add 25 to 50 healthy years to their lives? Okay. Are you just prepared to let them go see the doctor, once a week or twice a week or 3 times a week, get all these prescriptions and work on their symptoms 24 hours a day? And they're miserable. And everybody in the family is miserable because nobody's happy, nobody's healthy, but they're getting their medication and it's being paid for by insurance.
Yeah, it's nice to have, somebody else pay for it. But folks, why have it something so that you can just take a pill? Dr. Wallach, you were talking about the nitrates, and that is something that has been used in the curing and processing of meats and lunch meats and all of these different things that are convenience.
That's correct.
And your study was in the early 1960s, is that correct?
That's correct. The sheep all died in 1963. It was published in 65.
Okay, so that was in 1965. And then I know all through my childhood, we ate lunch meats. And I had some
nitrates.
I had some thyroid issues. And then I look at people around me and the questions that are coming in, hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism, Hashimoto, all of these different things that you in 1965 published a paper that linked nitrates to goiter, which is a thyroid issue. And I am happy to see that within the last 10 years, they've started doing no nitrates, no added nitrates, I should say, into the lunch meats and such. So they've maybe figured it out, and maybe they saw your paper. It's our job to make sure that everybody gets this information, Dr. Wallach, not just the few, because it's very possible that it's a simple solution to what has created huge havoc in somebody's life.
Well, that's why we have such a high regard for you and your team, because you're getting this information out there to so many different people around the world. And we're very, very excited about that. And we're picking up some more countries here pretty quick. I'll be dealing with that this afternoon. Heard what good things that we're doing. And so they said, well, we need your help. Okay, for 38 countries. Okay, we have an organization of 38 countries, which are not in your longevity program right now, but we want to get in there. Okay. And so I'm very, very excited about this, because we're going to help millions of more people with this information. And so get ready to be busy, Becca.
Dr. Wallach, we're already busy. You're going to have to find a couple more people like me to help take some of these pieces, because I am just one person. And in addition to, reaching those countries, Dr. Wallach, we've got new radio programs and syndications coming on as well. So folks, if you are part of an organization or a business where you do have access to be able to help choose programming, and you would like to get this information out, make sure that you contact us. We have on our team somebody that is influential and has been a huge resource in getting you out on the broadcast networks, Dr. Wallach. And we're going to pick that back up with it being more than just radio, with all of the different podcasters and the videocasters and the influencers that are out there that people are following on the different things like Instagram and Twitter and all of these things. There's too many to mention. But folks, if you're in a position where you would like to get this information shared with your audience, please make sure that you go to dailywithdoc.com, use that contact option, and send us an email. I will make sure that we I do make sure that we go through all of the emails and get them addressed and responded to as quickly as possible. And I had mentioned, Dr. Wallach, we have somebody on our team that's been very instrumental in getting you on the radio, and she has her hand up right now and has some questions out on the different platforms. So folks, as I mentioned, if you've got a program that you want to get Dr. Wallach on, we have an amazing person that has decades of experience making that happen. So Phyllis, what questions do you have for Dr. Wallach today?
Oh, Becca, you're so kind, and I do give Andy full credit for going after the radio stations.
Yes.
God forbid I could never have done that, but we certainly had a whole support team going, so that was wonderful. There are a couple of interesting questions on YouTube. Doc, you're talking about the sheep that died because their thyroids were exposed to the contaminated water, and then the temperature dropped down and it was very cold. We have Paulina on YouTube is asking, and this is interesting to me, living in 115-degree heat, is excessive heat harmful to our thyroid glands?
Yes. When you're cold, you're going to die, from the temperature that's too low. When it's too hot, you're going to die from temperature that's too high. And 98.6 is where we're supposed to be. Okay. And 120, you see this in the newspapers every day now. It's on the TV, it's on the radio, that these people are all dying from heat in their car. Their kids are dying from heat. They just run into the grocery store for 5 minutes to get something at the grocery store. They leave their kids in the car seat in the car. They come back, the kids fried. Okay. And so it's one of those things where temperature is one of the biggest killers. Okay. too much heat is one of the biggest killers in America.
Wow. That is fascinating. And I certainly am not staying out in this kind of record heat. And we had another question off of YouTube from Moshta, who, and of course, you often talk about putting plant-derived minerals on the skin to help them get absorbed. And he was wondering, to improve absorption, is there something else, some other liquid or item that we have in longevity to put on the skin to help absorption? Or is there perhaps another route that people can increase their level of absorption?
Yes, well, we have our ultimate enzymes. I take 3 of those twice a day, okay? And sometimes I'll take three times a day, depending on how big a lunch I have. And this is to maximize absorption of the nutrients, minerals, vitamins, amino acids, fatty acids. But I'll tell you a quick story. Pastor Mike Freeman up in Baltimore, Maryland. This was about 10 years ago. Pastor Freeman was in a coma for 6 weeks. And the doctors called his family and said, Pastor only had to live an hour or so, but 5 minutes or something. So you better get here and say your goodbyes. He's unconscious. He may or may not be able to hear you, but at least you'll feel like you've said your goodbyes. So we're letting you know that he's not long for this world. And so his wife and one of our great distributors up there in Baltimore, Maryland, Linda Tyler, called me after visiting him and said, Doc, is there anything we can do for Pastor Mike? I mean, he's totally out of it. They're just giving him minutes to live. I said, well, does he have a G tube? We can put some stuff down the G tube into his stomach? No. Does he have an IV? We can put stuff into his IV? No. So, okay, just take a bottle of our liquid plant minerals. I want you to take a half a cup 3 times a day, okay, on his sternum, his upper belly and his lower belly, and also on his back between his shoulder blades, his upper back, lower back, 3 times a day, okay? And call me, every once in a while, let me know if anything's happening. Miss Linda calls me, she said, oh my gosh, Pastor Mike gets up this morning. He shaves, he goes back to the church, he goes to his TV studio, his radio studio, and he spends 12 hours telling the world about his experience with these minerals on his skin to correct things that doctors couldn't fix, okay? And thank God he recorded it. And we made a tool out of it that everybody can hear him tell his story, okay? It's called Praise the Lord and Pass the 90. Praise the Lord and pass. If ever in the military, praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. You want God on your side in a shooting war, but you also want ammunition to be able to shoot back at the people who are shooting at you. The same way here with your illness. God is on your side. You want God to give everything that is needed to make you healthy, but also you want to use God's tools, okay, to defend yourself. And here, again, he's telling the story on this DVD. This is a DVD set, okay? We need at least one of those for the family to listen to and watch. Oh my gosh. And we continue to tell the story. And it really works for even little bitty kids, who are 3 months old, 2 weeks old, that aren't doing well and just won't eat and that kind of stuff. And the doctor just shrugged their shoulders and say, well, this one might not make it. And so they rub these plant minerals on their little bellies and their backs and everything. And so many of them, the next day, they're just totally different people because it's almost like intravenous. They absorb it through their skin. Okay. So every family needs that Praise the Lord and Pass the 90 DVD. I get 2 of them because people are going to keep them and show them to their friends. So you want to get a couple of them so you have one to share with your family. But
Doc,
yes.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You make such a good point that these are situations where they could not consume the minerals very well, yet they were very effective. Imagine how effective taking them internally as we do, drinking the minerals, how extremely effective that is.
That's correct.
If their diet is going to affect their degree of absorption. And we talk about the bad foods interfering with absorption. So that's obviously a big piece of the puzzle, isn't it?
Well, yes, of course. One of the worst things that we do is we eat bread. It goes way back thousands of years, okay? And of course, thousands of years ago, the average lifespan was 37. And God said, in man's years shall be 120. But the average lifespan of people in Europe was 37. Why is that? Because they were eating bread made from wheat, barley, rye, and oats, gluten. They could not absorb nutrition because their intestines were dead. Okay. Then in Asia, they eat buckwheat. In certain places in Europe, they eat buckwheat. There's no gluten in it, but they do have fagopyrins in there, F-A-G-O-pyrins, which are 10 times worse than gluten. Your intestines should look like a shag rug with all those little villi. Okay. But when you're eating gluten and fagopyrins from buckwheat, those villi go away, and suddenly now you have a smooth, instead of looking like a shag rug, your intestines look like a plastic tube. You've lost 90, because I don't know, I'm taking all these vitamins and minerals and it's not working for me. Well, what do you have for breakfast every morning? Well, I have Wheaties, I have Cheerios, I have oatmeal, I have buckwheat pancakes. Well, that's why you're killing yourself with all that gluten and fagopyrins. Stop it. And within 2 weeks' time, they start seeing benefit. Within 4 weeks' time, they're 50% better. When within 90 days, they're totally reverse of all their health problems, because now they're absorbing the nutrition by getting rid of the bad stuff. Got it?
Thank you so much. And hold the Wheaties.
Yeah, hold the Wheaties. Yeah, hold the Cheerios. Hold the buckwheat. Hold the oatmeal. Okay, and even the pancakes, made from oats and that sort of stuff. Even things like pizza. We have pizza where the crust is made from what?
Cauliflower.
Cauliflower.
Or
You-
truly gluten.
Well, there
It's
you
not
go.
just cauliflower.
Okay, well, yeah, gluten-free flours. It could be rice and that sort of stuff, millet and so on. But you cannot have wheat in any form. You cannot have wheat, butter, or oats in any form. It's best you don't even say the word out loud. Okay.
Well, and it's the protein within them that our bodies can't digest.
Yeah, it's the, which they say, you cannot absorb even if you are digesting. Yes or no, it doesn't matter, because if your intestines are dead, you can't absorb anything.
That's true. Very true. All right, Dr. Wallach, let's go right over to AJ, who has a question. And AJ, go ahead, unmute yourself.
Hello, Doc. How are you today?
Okay, sir. How can we help you?
Good. A woman named Donna is mentioning that her iron levels are high. She's not sleeping and dealing with high stress, and she mentioned a personal matter. Also, she'd like to be off of, has a hormone replacement patch, but she's still dealing with her night sweats and mood swings. She's 5 foot tall, 117 pounds, and she's 69 years old. And she says, thank you very much for all that you do.
Okay. So 117 pounds, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, she's getting rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no barley, rye, and oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet drinks need to go, and carbonated water. We had a very famous person a couple of weeks ago that he said, I'm doing everything right. I pay people to make sure I'm doing everything right, and I'm still having the problems. And then we found out after questioning him, he was drinking a juice every morning. It was a juice in carbonated water, and he couldn't absorb because it was neutralizing the stomach acid. You need the stomach acid to be able to digest and absorb nutrients. And if you're drinking carbonation, it neutralizes your stomach acid, so you cannot digest or absorb. Okay. So at 117 pounds, I wanted to have one healthy brain and heart pack per month, a half a dose of everything twice a day. I wanted to have one bottle of our MSM a month, so you can take 3 at breakfast or dinner time. That's going to support and promote maintenance repair cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, discs between vertebrae, bone, rakes, bone cell. I wanted to have our, let's see here. I do want her to have our Zerafem. She'd go ahead and take 2 of those twice a day. I'd go ahead and get 2 bottles a month of the Zerafem. And so if finances are not a problem, she'd take 3 twice a day, the Zerafem. That's going to help her with her hormone issues. And then sleep, we have sleepies. She could take our sleepies, like 15 minutes for bedtime. All right. And then let's see here. I think, she had high iron levels. That means she's not converting iron into hemoglobin. And so that's where the MSM comes in, because it helps your bone marrow make red blood cells and use that iron to make more red blood cells instead of letting the iron just float around. Okay. And so at MSM, 2 bottles a month, so you can take three times a day, and that'll help her deal with the iron issue. Okay. And so let's start there. And then over time, you guys can contact us and we'll walk her through the things that she still needs a little help with, but she's going to see remarkable results with that program.
You're fantastic, Doc. Thank you.
Oh, you're very kind. Thank you. You're fantastic.
AJ's been a fantastic part of this crew, Dr. Wallach. That is for sure helping us go bigger, farther, faster with the same effort in many cases. So
he has enormous people skills.
He does have some pretty good
from his
skills.
profession he comes from.
Yes, from that, and I get to spend several hours with him yesterday, and just how he interacted with people, and he's just a joy to be around. So that fits right into our team, that's for sure. So thank you so much, AJ, for all that you do. Dr. Wallach, I have a question coming out from Virgil, and just a reminder, folks, that if we ask your question or you have a question and Dr. Wallach gives you a program and recommendations using the products that he was very instrumental in helping and formulating from a company that he was the founder of, make sure that you get back with the person that shared this program with you. They cared enough to share this program with you, so care enough about and have respect enough for them to give them the opportunity to help you find that better journey to wellness, because we're in the business of helping people with wellness, not maintaining sickness, folks. It's not a Band-Aid or a bandage that you put over and mask the symptoms. We're working on the root cause.
And healing.
But you can say that, I can't. There's things, you've done all the research and you have that alphabet soup that's 10 miles long that those of us, it doesn't make any sense, even though we've felt it ourselves, Dr. Wallach, that there is censorship like that. So we want to make sure that we are somewhat abiding by the laws so that we can continue to do what we are doing.
That's correct. Abide by the laws.
Yeah, but not be afraid to speak our truth. So Dr. Wallach, Virgil is a 52-year-old truck driver, and he almost failed his DOT physical. Now, for those of you who do not know, Department of Transportation physical makes or breaks your career if you are an over-the-road driver, especially driving those big trucks. He says, my blood pressure was too high, and I need to get it down without traditional doctors and drugs. Also, being 52, I'm curious, what vitamins should I be taking? I have arthritis in my hands, but I'm able to continue my everyday activities. So Dr. Wallach, for somebody who has elevated blood pressure and arthritis at 52 years old and 200 pounds, let's say he's 6 foot tall. I didn't get that information from him. What would you recommend for him? He's asking for the vitamins to help himself. So what would you recommend?
Okay. Well, he needs more than vitamins. He needs vitamins and minerals.
And I think people don't have that separation, that they are not the same. Say, oh, I take my vitamins. Well, minerals are not a vitamin. And there's over 600 different conditions, poor health conditions that have been linked to mineral deficiencies. So folks, taking vitamins is not enough. Doc's going to tell you what.
Okay. So at 200 pounds, I want Virgil to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed bar oats, no buckwheat. There's no gluten in buckwheat, but it has fagopyrins, which are 10 times worse. No sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet drinks got to go, and carbonated water has to go because they neutralize stomach acid. And at 200 pounds, I want him to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. The full dose, everything twice a day. And then I want him to have, let's see here, 2 bottles a month of the MSM. So you take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time, and they're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone makes bone itself for the joints and arthritis and that kind of stuff. And then for the blood pressure, I want them to have 2 bottles a month of our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time, and they're going to support and promote healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries in the brain, the heart, the kidneys, and so forth. And so let's start there. And if he has pain in his joints, we do have the CM cream. He can apply the CM cream to his joints. He'll get about 2 to 4 hours of pain relief. Okay. And the system works. I mean, I've been dealing with a great story there. His story, of course, is in the flip charts coming out here pretty soon. Great story. And he was so very successful. I think he's also in that CD, Dead Athletes Don't Lie. I think he's in that one also. And he came back. His career was over. He had a fracture in a shooting arm wrist. He had bone-to-bone arthritis in his knees and his hips. And the doctors wanted to give him knee surgery and hip surgery, and his career was going to be over. And so, to make a long story short, I rebuilt him. Okay. And we had to come up with the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack. We didn't have one. Okay. So we just had a multiple. So we came up with a Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, which was our multiple, and we added the glucogel to it, okay, which was the collagen. And so that made it the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, okay. And then we came up with our Rebound for Theo Ratliff, our sports drink with 100 nutrients in it, 75 minerals and 25 vitamins, amino acids. And as a trucker, he can use our Rebound sports drink as well. If you want to use, if you're going to use the carbonated ones, do pop the tops on them the night before you're going to drink them, put them in the refrigerator, then drink them the next day, because carbonation will neutralize stomach acid. Okay. We do have the sticks. Okay. And on the road, these work very well. There's 1 dose of Rebound, 75 minerals and 25 vitamins and amino acids. Red Bull only has 1 mineral.
There's falling short, Doc.
Well, yeah, they're short. Okay. You need 60. We're giving you 75, and Red Bull only has 1, magnesium. Okay. So there's a problem there. They have lots of caffeine, lots of sugar, and that's what they're giving you the energy with, is the caffeine and the sugar. We have a little bit of caffeine and sugar, but it's like 25% of what you're going to get in the Red Bull, because we're giving you all these nutrients, and that's what's making everything work so well. And for so long, because it's maintaining the function of all your tissues and so forth, including the muscles and heart and blood vessels. I think Virgil's going to be happy with the results here. And do call us on a regular basis. We'll walk you through this, because you're going to have a great story.
All right. Thank you, Virgil, for submitting that through email. I do have one of our coaches on it with the recommendation that Dr. Wallach shared today, and that will be coming back to you in an email. Dr. Wallach, the next question that we have with us today here live in Zoom is coming from JT. JT's question is in regards to a 65-year-old woman, 5 foot 8 inches, 145 pounds, with stage 4 liver cirrhosis, anemia. She has started on the Brain and Heart Pack, MSM, selenium, EFA, EFA+, ultimate enzymes. And she started that on Friday. She says she's been feeling abnormally tired and slept 20 hours. On the brain and bloated in the belly. Wondering what might be causing this, and is this normal? Okay.
Well, she may be getting reactive hypoglycemia. Okay. Because if she was deficient in those nutrients and she had high blood sugar, and you're taking these nutrients, then it'll knock your blood sugar down and put you to sleep. Okay, so this is not uncommon. Okay, but that resolves itself once you get everything normalized. And so this guy here, this woman, 145 pounds. We want her to have get rid of all the bad foods: no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no bar, rye, oats, no. Let's see here, no buckwheat because of the fagopyrins, no sugar, no, let's see here, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go. And also the carbonated, just carbonated water has to go. And then at 145 pounds, I wanted to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month. And because she has liver issues, additionally, we want her to have, let's see here. I would go with the I-26, go with the I-26. We have chewables, we have powder, we have capsules and pills. And the liver is very, very important. And of course, the liver can help you prevent Parkinson's disease. I'm doing all this research, and in animals that have chronic, wasting disease and that sort of stuff, and they don't have any cholesterol, okay, and they're just tired all the time and losing weight and functionless and so forth. Well, that's because they don't have any cholesterol. So I try to find out where are these deer getting their cholesterol from? Where are these people getting their cholesterol from? Well, I can't have cholesterol. My doctor said no cholesterol. So I don't eat eggs. I don't eat meat. I just eat a lot of grain. Wheat, butter, and oats. There you go. Okay. And so then let's see here. We also want our sports drink Rebound. Okay. And I'd go with the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. I'd take 3 of those twice a day, 2 bottles a month. That's going to help with blood pressure and blood flow. And also the MSM will help with the formation of white blood cells and red blood cells and platelets and bone marrow and so forth. And this is what's going to be needed to get all this stuff in line. Okay. But liver cirrhosis is more than just liver cirrhosis, because the liver makes 40 different products that you cannot get from your food. The liver makes 40 different things that your body needs. So you need to be pumping all the nutrition to that liver to make sure that it's doing everything it needs to, because if you don't get what you need because your liver can't make it, you're going to get Alzheimer's disease. You're going to get Parkinson's disease. You're going to get MS disease. And it's all, these things are the brain. Yeah, but the brain is 25 to 50% cholesterol. And your liver makes 80% of the cholesterol you require.
So the liver makes nutrients that support overall function.
That's correct. If
the liver is like full of toxins, then its ability to be able to do those functions aren't going to be as successful.
Or not at all.
Or not at all. So a new product, Dr. Wallach, that you're not quite as familiar with is called our Ultimate Daily Digest. And there's individual pouches. It has 4 different capsules in it that all support digestion and liver function. So has a little extra something in there that helps with the liver. And I've had some people have amazing results adding that to their protocol that you have given to them, Dr. Wallach.
Okay, well, I'll read the label today.
I will.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Dr. Wallach, I have one more question here before we have to go, before our time is up with you. And Jim is wanting to thank us every month, or thank us for our email, for our newsletter. And he wants to know what your recommendations are, Dr. Wallach, for tinnitus or ringing in the ears. He says, I'm 68 years old in very good health, including my hearing, but I've had this very annoying ringing in my ears for the last few years. So Dr. Wallach, per 100 pounds, because this is not just a man thing, it's a woman issue also. So let's just go by 100 pounds. What would be your recommendation to allow somebody to give their body what they need for eliminating or reducing this ringing in the ears?
Well,
and Dr. Wallach is holding up, for those of you who are not watching the video and are on one of our audio books, it's all in your head. So
okay.
Tell us about It's All in Your Head, Doc.
Well, the book and the CD, it's the book and the CD set goes into osteoporosis of the skull and the 37 different diseases you can get when you have osteoporosis of the skull. And one of the more common ones is tinnitus or tinnitus, depending on what part of the country you're from. Okay. And that's the auditory branch of the 8th cranial nerve being squeezed. There's a whole chapter on the 8th cranial nerve. There's a whole chapter on each of the 12 pairs of cranial nerves. Okay. And so there's a lot of questions I'd like to ask this person. but it's one of those things where they need per 100 pounds of body weight, 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month, half a dose of everything twice a day. MSM, per 100 pounds of body weight, 1 bottle a month, take 3 twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. That's going to rebuild the cartilage and ligaments and tendons, connective tissue, including bone marrow, including the skull. Okay. And then collagen peptides, let's go with that with the morning drinks, with the evening drink. And then we need them to have the I-26. The I-26. I like the chewables. I take 2 of the chewables 3 times a day. We do have the capsules. We have the powder. And they help you rebuild the myelin, the white matter of the brain and spinal cord. Okay. Including the 8th cranial nerve. All right. And let's see here. They also need the synaptive, 2 bottles a month. So you can take 2 or 3 of those twice a day so the brain cells can talk to each other. Eat 2 or 3 eggs, soft scrambled or soft poached for breakfast and dinner every day. And they will give you what you need for your brain to work properly. So all these sort of things that people are complaining about won't happen at all. But if they're happening, they reverse very quickly. But when you read that book, I get so many people call me and say, oh my gosh, my doctor never told me about this. Well, they don't get taught these things in medical school. And that's why Dr. Milan and Becca and myself, we wrote the book in the CD set. Okay. And so we have the book in the CD set. It's all in your head. Covers 37 different diseases. Your doctor is going to refer you to, okay, for a specialist. You have ringing in your ears, and the doctor wants to send you to his classmate who's an ear, nose, and throat doctor so you can have hearing aids. Okay. Well, that's not the issue. Okay. The issue is you're not getting what you need to have your 8th cranial nerve work because the skull is squeezing it. So there you go.
Well, then they've got quite the network going on, Dr. Wallach, because you've got your primary care. They send you to a specialist. That specialist sends you to another specialist that then sends your information to a lab. So, when people look at network marketing, I tell you what, folks, doctors have probably one of the most expensive network marketing platforms there is. And what are they doing? They're masking the symptoms. They're not addressing underlying causes. So, Dr. Wallach, something, and I know you have to go, something that you have done many times is refer to the good foods, bad foods list. Folks, thank you, Dr. Wallach. We'll talk to you later. But folks, you can find the good foods, bad foods list on dailywithdoc.com. There we have that whole list so that you can print it out or save it, do screenshots, whatever is needed so that you have it at your fingertips as you are going shopping, and make sure that you're focused on that good side. Okay. If there's things on the bad side, they just don't go in the shopping cart. There's lots of things on the good side that even covers the 4 food groups. Okay. For those of you who want to have a balanced meal, balanced plate, you still get your 4 food groups, but you are eliminating those foods that are causing toxicity within the body that have been found to be part of the cause of poor health conditions. So if I could get my co-hosts up with me, that would be greatly appreciated, because I could not do this program without them. Ellen Sanchez, who is my executive production manager, I just appreciate her and all of her organization and making sure everything is the way it's supposed to be. And then we have her assistant, AJ, who is not only helping make sure everything where it's supposed to be, but it's making it go bigger, faster, farther, stronger, all around the world. So thank you so much, AJ, for all that you do and bringing in your expertise and talents into the team. We have Sherry, who has some amazing talents also. I mean, people skills, people. If you've got people skills and you want to work with people and help them identifying what might be something that's holding them back, and then having these solutions to help them break through. Our whole team is made up of health coaches, and Sherry is just one of those fantastic health coaches that's coming with multiple degrees or certificates there. You can see she has that training that qualifies her. So we don't all have that wall behind us that we can do that. But I love the fact that you've done that, Sherry. And we also have Phyllis, which I shared a little bit about Phyllis earlier, and all of the things that she and her husband, Andy, who I just love and adore, have done over the decades in getting this message out to the masses. And I just love the fact that, even though Andy's at retirement age, Phyllis is not, but they continue to push through and make sure that this information is getting shared where they are able. And we have the amazing Marilyn, who is bringing more of her skills also to the table, as she is amazing at doing the dictation of what Dr. Wallach is recommending and putting it in the Zoom chat, which is one of the benefits of this, Monday through Friday from 12 to 12:50 p.m. Pacific time. So we invite you to go to dailywithdoc.com so that you can join us during that time and ask your questions or just listen. Be part of this crusade that is making a stronger world, folks. So majority of us are in the United States, but we are not limited to the United States, as we are going all the way down into South Africa, because folks, a human is a human is a human is. So if one human needs vitamins and minerals and essential fatty acids, all of them do. So I love the fact that Albert has acknowledged that too, and he is wanting to help his community and help us also reach around the world. So thank you so much, Albert, as he has an incredible passion and also experience in distributing stuff when it comes to some very important commodities around the world. So thank you so much, Albert, for joining our team. And folks, my name is Becca Dukes. I love the fact that I can use my experience, not just my experience from work and training and citizenship, leadership, all of these different things, raising animals, having to do it all, and I realized that, and I came to realization that I was looking at the labels of the animal foods that I was feeding my livestock more than I was for my own self. And for those of you who have pets, you might be able to relate to that. You take a lot of time and care into making sure that that pet gets the best. Well, it's time to consider that without you, there would be nobody to take care of that pet or those children or those loved ones. So it's time to make sure that you are self and investing not only the time that you took to listen to this program, but taking those steps and investing in your own health with formulations that are proven day and day over and over again to be beneficial within the body. Again, my name is Becca Dukes, and I invite you to go to dailywithdoc.com. There you will find replays of our programming. You will also find a store that lists all of the products that Dr. Wallach has mentioned today. You'll find the good foods, bad foods list. Plus, you'll find more supporting documents and also audios and videos from pharmacist Ben Fuchs on the importance of nutrition and how it relates to health. Get back with the person that you heard about this program from. If you want to get started on a program, get back with the program with you and ask them if they have a way to help you get what Dr. Wallach has recommended. If there is nobody to thank and you would like to get connected with a host, a co-host, not a coach, got to get the right C word in there, and you'd like to get connected with a coach, feel free to give us a call at 855-949-3377. I do have a team that are scheduled throughout the week, throughout the hours of the day, there to assist you. If by chance you get the voicemail, please leave a message. We do get back to those that leave messages. And we also have email. You can use the contact option in the menu at dailywithdoc.com. dwd@dwd.com and reach us through email as well. So until next time, bye for now.
Recording stopped.